Gemini. I forgot for a second. Forgive me. Gemini, welcome to your reading for Aquarius season. What do you have to leave behind in 2025 officially? What should be the thing? That's what we're going to figure out this season. We're going to figure that out, and then we're going to determine what you have to focus on this year and the overall energy and theme. Pretty simple. We're still in the new year, so don't feel discouraged if the resolutions you made didn't pan out already, or even if you didn't make any at all. This is kind of like your guide, okay? So I'm going to pull the cards out randomly because that's what I prefer. And then we'll dive into it in the traditional deck, and then we'll bring out an oracle card for your overall message, okay? All right, Gemini, don't forget to like and follow. You can check me out on YouTube as well. You can also check out my website. I currently have a sale going on, so check that out in the description, okay? If you're new, welcome to the Witch Switch, where we switch off everyday normal life and switch on to the witchery. And if you are returning, welcome back. Thank you again for joining. So without further ado, let's go. So what do you need to leave behind, Gemini? Ooh, the Tower here. As a sign that rules overall thought and expression, communication, ideas, that plays a lot into your manifestation. So if you are the realist and you're always expecting things to go a certain way or bad, it can magnify. It can actually happen. If you're pessimistic, if you were, perhaps you went through something in life where everything just from one thing to the next, it just got progressively worse, right? Something didn't improve. So whether it was you leaving something behind or unexpected things just kind of threw you off course, or any situation where you always felt that will never happen to me, and it did, that could be something you should be or can rest assured leave behind, okay, into the new year, because 2026 is not going to be repetitive to last year unless you kind of want to stay doing the same things, being around the same people, constantly being in situations where things are really chaotic and unpredictable. Okay, so it's also that. It's also leaving that chaos behind and probably embracing a little more peace and solitude and consistency for sure. Okay, because as mutable as you are, sometimes when there's no concrete direction or no purpose or reason to be changeable or to, get out of doing something routine wise, it's kind of like all in vain. So like you could be really changeable, but if it's for no premise, no purpose, and there's no direction to it, you don't like that. This year, we're going to focus on ourselves, the sun. We're also going to focus on looking things on brighter side. Like I said, if you're having a pessimistic attitude, or your sense of perception of reality, or just anything on the ethereal plane, you're going to be leaving all the negativity and just expecting the worst, or being the bearer of bad news all the time, chaos, all of that behind, and embracing more peace, more assurance, more positivity. Like, didn't I say you wanted more consistency? The sun is ruled by Leo. Leo's a fixed sign. Can't get any more fixed and consistent than a Leo. Especially when it comes to your relationship with yourself. Okay? A Leo puts themselves before they put others, in a sense where they know that this is what they have to do in order to take care of everyone. So yeah, we're going to be also having a lot of clarity within ourselves too, and how we communicate with other people. That's going to be a big one too. And then we have the Magician here. You have all major arcanas, Gemini. The thing is, you are the Magician in tarot. You and Virgo, Mercury ruled. You can basically make anything out of nothing. You are very good at mimicking other people's personalities. Ever notice that if you're around someone long enough, you inhabit their habits, the way they speak, the way they look? And it's not done purposely or with ill intent. You can easily absorb the communication styles and just the way people are very easily. You can kind of morph. Remember, you're duplicitous. You're two-faced for a reason, but being two-faced is not just black and white. There's so much in between those two faces. So just know that that's your talent, and that's not something that you should feel discouraged or you feel like you're not an individual. You absolutely are. You just have the gift of morphing into whomever you want at any situation that arises. I'm a Gemini moon, so emotionally, I notice that if I have to react in a certain way or an emotion comes out, I usually think of the person that I feel would, I don't know, act or have that reactivity I feel is appropriate for that emotion. And I just put it together and then I do it. There's a lot of thought that goes into it. Sometimes it's just unconscious. Okay. We're complex creatures. Okay. I may be a moon. Actually, I'm a moon, Mars, and Jupiter. Half of my personal planets are in Aries, half of them are in Gemini. So I know very well what this can represent. Also, I think by looking ahead and believing and having faith that things will become better, will also, again, when you manifest that and you put that together, you will have this outcome. But you can also manifest this and have the outcome it brings as well. Also, if there's something else you're leaving behind, there, like I said, this unexpected thing, just know it's a blessing in disguise. You needed to get out from something or venture off into a new direction because your time wasn't valued, nor was there any purpose or premise for you to be in that said environment with whomever or by yourself. Okay? So whatever it is that you let go of, that was a big change that you had to accept it, move on from it, and look towards the sun. That's your message. Look towards the sun. I like that. Also, any investment that you have made in terms of money, time, and energy, it will triple. It will triple when you constantly put in the work in and when you constantly believe in the outcome that you want. If you envision the outcome while you're working and just stay focused on that, you will see things triple in size, in money, in connections even. Wow, a lot of cards came out. I'm just going to take the ones that flipped over for now. And then this one, I'm going to take randomly as well. Okay. Yeah, you know, this tower to me indicates that this was probably a group of people. This was more than one person, more than one relationship situation. And there was a lot of closing, like there was a lot of endings that happened. And if you went through these endings, congratulations. This is just confirmation that you had to get rid of it. If you didn't, then just know that the path that you're on, if you're away from this chaos, if you're away from the conflict and you know, people lack of reciprocity, if you're away from all of that, then that's where you're supposed to be. Okay? And if not, you need to start. And once you get away from it, new relationships do start. Look towards the sun. As I said, you will see a new connection will formulate. And this connection is not limited to just one thing. It's not limited to love. I mean, romantic love. It could be very platonic. It could be very relative at the same time. So look towards the sun. New connections are coming in. But you gotta allow this to rest, to die and to rest in peace. Okay, you know what? There's too many cards that came out. Okay, I'm just gonna have to. Okay. Gemini. Give me a second. There's a habit or routine that you put yourself in to get away from feeling something, to not have to dwell or feel feeling in some sort of loss. And that could be what this final tower may be, or probably was already. You had to feel something or experience pain that you've put in the back burner for such a long time through distraction, through hard work, through being consistent. It's like being on autopilot. And you could do that sometimes. You could disassociate. It's like you're here, but you're not here. And there's a strong tie when it comes to a specific relationship in your life that wasn't strong enough to be a relationship, but the connection was so dominating, controlling, possessive. And yet there just wasn't any collaboration, partnership, any kind of legal tie, nothing on paper indicating that this connection even existed, where two people join. Not even a relationship title. Yet, again, with this 2 of Cups and this 3 of Coins in the reverse, this indicates a relationship that held no merit at all. There was no proof that it even existed, okay? So, it's possible with the Sun here. The Sun is also a yes card, right? The focus is to be on the Sun, and the reason for that is, yes, we want to get away from old relationships. We want to get away from conflict that just don't serve any purpose, premise, or value to us. If it's other people's drama, we don't want anything to do with that. We're just kind of, Geminis don't really like confrontation. They think too much to be able to confront unless you get them in the mood where they could strike, right? It's hit or miss. But to focus on the Sun may also mean that although you got out of tower moments, now you're able to have the clarity you need to avoid being in tower moments. And for you, those tower moments have to do with assessing people better. Okay? Like I said, you can morph into other people's essence and habits and quirks. But I think what you should also consider is that when that happens, you're also projecting who they are, which doesn't make you a bad person. You're just good at mimicking. So it's needing to assess people so you don't become them, or you don't become the version that you think they want you to become. Does that make sense? So with that, I feel like there is some unconscious realization about your energy and how it ties to other people so easily. And you actually have the knowledge in front of you as it's happening of who people really are, because you end up embodying that. You mirror back to who people really are. So if anyone wants to gaslight you, or anyone tells you that you're this person and you're that person and blah, 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 possibly you're mirroring who that person is and what they have been showing you. So it's actually a reflection of them. Does that make sense? Of course, this kind of advice I say if you truly are a decent human being. I'm not saying to think this way to be manipulative, but because people can be manipulative and you find yourself in a position where you feel or you were told to believe that you're not a genuine or solid person that you always thought you were, that's a sort of manipulation that, in defense, this is how you should perceive the situation, okay? So whatever this relationship is, never held merit. Again, there was never any proof that the relationship existed, nor was there ever a title for it. It's something as simple as a situationship. But yet, like I said, the connection was so dominating, like you couldn't get out of this chokehold this person put you. This place to feel so bound, but no foundation, security, or stability to that. So we're going to be assessing relationships better, okay? Because we learned from the past. Because I feel like this person, I feel like the energy that this is tied to, although it's in 2026, is a reflection from the past, but the way it's going to present to you is just a new face. A new face. So there could be a connection that will come off very strong, very intense. That is your sign to know that it's the same energy from last year or from the people you dealt with last year and prior. Okay? Okay. Now, this over here, is turning pain into power with the Magician. Okay? Like I said, you have always done things in a specific way. I don't know if it was a distraction. I don't know if you didn't want it. Like, I'm getting the sense that there was some kind of emotion that needed to be reflected on, some event, some experience that needed to be reflected on, and instead of doing that, you decide to take your time and attention away and onto something more practical, forcing you to ignore it, not face it, and just disregard it. Also, what I'm seeing, there could be a way where you can turn pain into power by doing that. And perhaps that is the intention of why you're focusing on practical matters, on money, on building, rather than facing this. So I get that. But at the same time, when you're keeping so much in and you're not communicating and you're not exchanging ideas like you like to do, there's a sense of anxiousness or anxiety that develops. Okay? It could even be as bad as PTSD. There needs to be a healthy outlet. And you're going to have some clarity about this situation, more clarity if not already. And I think you will realize that you have to kind of let it go in a way where you can't burden the responsibility all on your shoulders anymore. Okay, it's too heavy now. You got to do something about it. Okay, it's time to get out. We're not hanging ourselves upside down anymore, but instead we are taking the time to reflect and to even communicate with mental health if you need to. There's nothing wrong with that. It's always good to talk with a professional as opposed to your friends. Our friends, our family, like, they're all doing the best they can. They're not the best people to get advice from, but this is why mental health is important in that regard, because you have people that have done the training and how to communicate and how to put things in perspective that help you put things into perspective. You need someone to kind of unscramble all of your thoughts, because sometimes it could be really messy up there. Not in a bad way, but there could be a lot of chatter. You need someone to help straighten that out for you. So there's nothing wrong with that. Also getting another perspective is a good thing. All right, so let's see if we can get a couple more cards. But overall, it's a good read. Just, you got to be careful, because even though you put something to rest, ghost still exists, So, and this ghost is also a very controlling kind of entity or energy, if you will. And that's because you haven't learned the lessons. So they're going to keep coming to you, right? We've all heard that before. Here you are. Being able to establish boundaries, being able to communicate in a healthy way, and being able to express yourself and all the things that you keep inside. Let this year be a year of just communicating more with trusted friends, trusted family members, lovers, doctors, even trusted people. People that can help you out in any way that you need. All right, Gemini? Let's see what your message is with the Oracle card. Queen of the Moon deck. I love this deck. It's so pretty. what did I say? Self-reflection. I'm telling you, reflecting is going to be a theme for you, and it's only going to make you more powerful, and it's going to be able to allow you to manifest your desires in the way you see fit, because you'll be able to envision it and hold your vision more, to focus, to be more imaginative if you feel like there's been a loss in that. Also, what I think is really good is to be a little more enthusiastic. With the magician, you see the kid here? He's indicating like the sunflower is really tall. And to me, that's that sense of measurement, even measuring his height. But Gemini is also very enthusiastic like a child. There's some sense of childhood innocence. I would say Gemini and Aries are like that. So it's not losing that childlike wonder about you, your imagination, being able to use your imagination and picture how you want your life to look. And you may find yourself being in that spot years down the road. Practice that. You don't have nothing to lose. Let me know in a couple of years. All right, Gemini, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in Pisces season.